Ladies, if you are on a fat loss journey, a hormone health journey, your gut microbiome, your gut health is fucking up your fat loss. Okay? Gut health plays a massive, massive role in your fat loss, specifically for your metabolism. If you have, obviously, there's a balance, right? Good bacteria and bacteria in the gut. If you don't have enough good bacteria, it's actually going to change how you're partitioning your food, your calories, your macronutrients. They're partitioning to fat or they're partitioning to muscle, right? Good bacteria and right balance of partitioning to muscle, otherwise it's fat, right? That's number one. Number two, plays a huge role in systemic inflammation. Systemic inflammation plays a huge role in fat loss, right? Cortisol, insulin sensitivity. I talked about GLP-1 being secreted in the gut, right? If these are not happening, if you don't have a good, healthy gut, if you don't have a good gut lining integrity, well, guess what? You're dead in the water. Okay? There's also your T4 to T3, your active thyroid. It's converted by a lot of bacteria in your gut. Like, that's what does it. Okay? And there's a lot of other factors that are going to influence how you are losing fat based on your gut health, right? There's a lot of different interactions and things that are happening, just like the ones that I listed. So gut health plays a massive, massive, massive role in your fat loss journey, okay? Now, the mistake you're making a huge mistake with your probiotics, okay? And probiotics are getting all the craze. And they're important, don't get me wrong. Like I talked about, I think if you watched my GLP-1 supplements, I covered probiotics because it's so important to have good gut health because that's where most all your GLP-1 is secreted at the gut level. So that's going to decrease your appetite. It's going to decrease food noise. It's going to slow down your stomach motility. It's going to create more insulin sensitivity. There's going to be a lot of things that are happening from that GLP-1 being secreted in the gut. Now, if you don't have a good gut health, if you don't have good microbiome, right, that's not going to happen. So looking at probiotics, all the same. And there's also not just probiotics, there's prebiotics, right? So probiotics are what feeds directly the bacteria. Prebiotics, they feed the stuff that feeds the organisms. So the mistake that you're making is prebiotics, because prebiotics are going to feed everything. They're going to feed the good and the bad, right? If you already have an imbalance, or if you have bad and you're just taking a prebiotic, that's not going to be a good outcome for you, right? The other thing is there's symbiotics, which have pre and post, or pre and post, pre and probiotics, right? If you're taking both those, again, you're getting the same thing. It's going to feed the good, but it's also going to feed the bad. So you want to make sure you're looking at what is actually in there. And there's a lot of drinks now that have prebiotics. There's Lolly. And don't hear what I'm not saying. If you have good gut health, right, you're good to go. But if you have, leaky gut, SIBO, if you have chronic inflammation, poor hormone health, like you have trouble losing weight, those are all things that you definitely want to make sure, definitely want to make sure that you're not taking those prebiotics without a probiotic and without a good gut health. So I would just cut them out if you're suspecting that, right? Cut out the symbiotics, and especially even Ritual, who I love Ritual, make great supplements. They have a symbiotic. It's pre and probiotics together, right? And the prebiotics can go on its own. But there's a lot of drinks that you obviously need to look at. Like there's Olipop, there's a couple other ones I can't remember off the name, but they're getting very, very popular as prebiotic drinks. So just be careful with those. Obviously, don't overdo it, because then you're going to be, really fucking it up. But I have this probiotic in front of me, this gummy. Mary Ruth's. I love this one because it's a gummy. And if you've ever taken supplements before and you got a whole bunch and they're just sitting in your cabinet, that is probably the biggest reason you're not seeing results in supplements, because you're not consistent with them. I've coached people for so long, almost 20 years. And I know the one thing that human behavior states is that we are going to do continually what is enjoyable and what's realistic. And it's enjoyable for you to eat a gummy bear, and it's realistic for you to put it right by your coffee maker. You're good to go. You're going to be consistent, right? So as much as you can, as long as it's in the efficacious dose, it's in the right bioavailable form, you want to make sure, obviously it's something that you can take as a gummy, okay? So I hope this is super helpful. Probiotics, okay? Don't let it fuck up up your fat loss or your hormone health, because it plays such an integral role. Your gut health plays such an integral role. And this is such an oversighted area, because you kind of have just your gut health influencers. Then you have just your calorie deficit influencers. And you have just your macro influencers. And it fits in your macros influencers and kettlebell only influencers. And this girl who just got an Instagram account, but she's pretty cute and she does cool exercises, influencer. Huge pendulum swing. Too much information out there. Most of it's BS. Okay? So start doing your own research, treating your body as an experiment as well. With probiotics, you can track things like bloating, water retention, track gas. You can track a lot of different factors to see, okay, is this working? Is this good? How do I feel? Right? Mood, mental clarity, gut health plays a huge role. If you're constantly like unmotivated, no energy, and you have a shitty mood, that has a lot to do with your gut health, right? Specifically your neurotransmitters, your dopamine and serotonin. Like that's all there. That's the gut-brain axis, right? So hope this is helpful. Love y'all. And if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. If you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, whatever you get your podcast, turn that bell button on, leave a review. I'll help the algorithm. Love you. Bye.